much. So we're talking about making the world better through character strengths today, and the key component for that is to see strengths in others. So for anyone who was attending yesterday, it's a quick reminder that we talked about what character strengths are and why they're important, and the fact that they are research-based and they are positive aspects of our personality. For those that weren't here yesterday, I encourage you, when the recording becomes available, to listen in. It's just a 15-minute presentation about knowing your own character strengths. What we're going to do today is we're going to do a mindfulness practice. Again, anyone who's here yesterday experienced it yesterday. We're going to do this each day. I'm going to share 2, actually probably today 3 character strengths facts. I'm also going to share a personal practice that you can do with character strengths. We'll revisit the mindfulness, and we'll briefly touch on what we're going to cover next time. Let me just move these slides along here. So here is our mindfulness wheel of emotions. This is Robert Plutchik's Wheel of Emotions. It's public domain. You can Google it online. And what this does is help us focus on what emotions we're experiencing in this moment. These are just a sample of emotions. There are other emotions you can be having. And I'm going to invite all of you, as you're transitioning from whatever you were doing a few minutes ago to this session, to just take maybe half a minute to think about what emotions are you experiencing right now. And remember, you will experience some positive and some not so positive emotions side by side. Sometimes it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be black and white. So I'm going to just pause and be quiet for a moment while you contemplate this flower, this daisy, and see what emotions you're experiencing. No need to share unless you feel you want to. This is for you. So in every workshop and training and coaching session I do, I encourage people to do this check-in. It's very quick. A lot of people have started putting this up on their wall so they can check in with themselves. And the reason is that as project managers and professionals, we are constantly dealing with other people and going from one exchange to another. And what often happens is we don't close out one experience before we engage with the next group of people or in the next meeting. And we carry forward emotions that we're experiencing from a previous encounter into the next encounter we go into. So, for example, if you've had a very frustrating meeting with the sponsor of a project, and then you go into a team meeting, very often that frustration will carry over and will be transmitted to the team through social contagion. So what I do is I suggest people take a few seconds, contemplate their emotions, and think about, what am I experiencing in this moment? Which of these emotions are helpful to me? And which ones do I just want to let be? Just acknowledge that they're there and move on from them. We're going to come back to this, Daisy, at the end, and you'll understand why. If you weren't on yesterday, you'll understand why when we do it. So let's get to our character strengths. So our first fun fact about character strengths, and I went over what the character strengths are yesterday. There's 24 of them. We all have all 24 to some degree. They are universal, that is, they're shared by everyone in the world, regardless of ethnicity, culture, religion, and so on. And they are evidence-based. And what research has shown is there are 5 strengths that are specifically associated with people reporting higher levels of happiness. Now, that's not to say that if these are not your top strengths, you won't be happy. These are just strengths that are very strongly correlated with reports of high levels of happiness and well-being. And the 5 strengths, you can see them here, are hope, zest, gratitude, love, and curiosity. Interestingly, zest is that energetic, joie de vivre kind of thing, but zest actually doesn't show up very often as a high strength for people. So if you're not high in zest, then don't worry about it. The interesting thing with character strengths is that we can deliberately cultivate them. So if one of these or 2 of these strengths really appeal to you, there are practices you can engage in to actually develop those strengths and make them more readily accessible. Gratitude, I think many people have seen that there's a lot of work out there showing that when we focus on being grateful, really focus on what we're grateful for in terms of the people around us, the experiences we have, the things that we have, that improves our well-being, and the character strengths research tends to support that as well. Our second and third facts for today, I've already mentioned, we all have all 24 strengths. This comes as a surprise to people, and some of my coaching clients will argue with me as to whether or not that's true. And so far, we've always been able to find an example of them using a strength, even if it's one that is not very comfortable for them. So, and I have examples of that I can share if people are interested. The other thing to realize is that the survey, and we'll be providing a link at the end, the survey doesn't measure weaknesses. What often happens with people is they get their survey results. They look straight to the end to see which strengths are weaknesses for them. And in actual fact, we're not measuring weaknesses by the survey. We're measuring the relative intensity of the various strengths that we all have. And we're going to talk tomorrow about what weaknesses really come up in terms of strengths, which is about misuse of strengths. And we're going to talk about that in terms of conflict, so when strengths go wrong. So that's tomorrow's topic. So remembering we all have all 24, we're not measuring weaknesses. So to some degree, even your lowest strength is something that you can call on and use. It may not be the most comfortable strength. And certain strengths are associated with certain levels of well-being. As I mentioned before, that's not to say that if those strengths are not your top strengths, you won't be happy. There are other routes to happiness. For example, mindfully using your top strengths in new ways is a way of increasing happiness. But today's theme is less about you and about other people. So how do we bring this strength practice to other people? And it still starts with you. There is a very simple process that can be a little intimidating, and at the same time is very effective. And we call it the C model, S-E-A. And the C model is that we see strengths in someone else. We explain to them the behavior we saw that made that strength come up for us. And then we explain to them why we appreciate that. What is it that we saw? How did that help? What was the benefit of them using that strength in that moment? Now, to do that, I encourage people to carry the list of strengths around. So, as I mentioned, there are 24 of them, and there are handouts available that allow you to keep the 24 by your side. And my favorite place to do this strength spotting is in meetings where I would otherwise be trying to sneak a peek at my email or sneak a peek at my Twitter account or Facebook or whatever it might be. And what I'll do is I'll really be hyper-focused on the person talking, or maybe someone who isn't talking, but is maybe intently listening. And I'll look out for which of these strengths, and I'll just mark them with a marker or a pen on a piece of paper. And I make a challenge for myself to tell one person each day the strengths that I saw. So, which strengths did I see? I saw curiosity in you. How did I see it? I saw curiosity when you asked all those follow-up questions about what we're doing on the project. And why do I appreciate that? Because that opens things up and we explore new possibilities.
Hi there, I hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year. But if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.